would like to begin by acknowledging that we are on Treaty 4 territory, the homeland of the Métis Nation. To the class of 2020, as I reflect on all that I've watched you experience in anticipation for this day, I've thought a lot about what I could say to you here at your graduation. A graduation that will be like no other. A graduation against all odds. We could talk about everything this pandemic has changed and that has taken from you. Or we could talk about all that this pandemic could teach you. I'd like to echo the words of our Director of Education, Kyle McIntyre, and encourage all of you to remember that life happens, life teaches us lessons, and life throws us curveballs. So please continue to learn from all that life has to offer. Some of you are going to university, colleges, and some of you are planning on working for a while. Every day is an educational moment, just waiting to happen. Keep an open mind, learn from others and learn from yourself. You're never too old or too smart to keep learning, so embrace it. Not everything you do is for marks, but everything you do counts for something, so make it count. Love life and all that it has to teach you.
I know from firsthand experience, the students graduating this year, including my own daughter, face a unique challenge this spring. A range of emotions of fear, grief, excitement, and disappointment probably crossed their minds. But against all odds, you are here, graduating from this important milestone, high school. So celebrate the time you put into your schooling, but also make the most of that knowledge. Continue to thrive, to succeed, to learn, to improve yourself. This is just one step in a lifetime of events. Keep an open heart and use the lessons of this pandemic to guide you in compassion and perseverance.
On behalf of the Gull Lake School staff, we would like to wish you everything that you so richly deserve in the year ahead. And congratulations to the class of 2020.
Graduation day is here. Finally. Taylor's been waiting for this day to arrive for 13 long years. There were many a day throughout her school journey where she would come home exhausted and grumpy, stating as fact that she was never going to make it to her senior year. Reading, writing, and arithmetic, good grief, who has time for that? Thankfully, school was also a place where she could play sports and spend time with her friends, because without that, who knows if today could have actually happened. Now, Taylor's been an independent, multifaceted, and fly-by-the-seat-of-her-pants kind of girl since day one. I'll dress myself. I'll comb my own hair. I'll ride my own three-wheel trike around town if I want to. She always wanted to prove that she could keep up with the older kids, even if she did have the nicest princess low-ride tricycle with plastic princess heels to match on the block. Now, Taylor loves a good belly laugh every now and then, especially if it's at the expense of one of her friends. Taylor once thought it would be fun to saran wrap and, just for good measure, duct tape Chase and Peyton together, face to face, smash, before guiding them ever so slowly up the steps and into the house. Now, let's just say Taylor did get a good laugh out of it, but Bev and the girls, not so much, as their clothes and their hair had so much residue on them that the washing of hair and clothes was unforeseen collateral damage. But that unfortunate circumstance just made Taylor laugh all the more. Taylor will forever remember being part of the Gull Lake Lions volleyball program. Her proudest moments were being a part of the team that earned back-to-back league championships. Hey, one last shout out for the girls. Let's go! She also had the great privilege of playing club volleyball with the Sundogs and having her dad coach her as she ended her hockey career with the Southwest Cyclones. Many a mile was traveled with many memories and friendships made along the way. And as weird as this might sound, Taylor plans on becoming a teacher as she is enrolled at the University of Lethbridge for the fall.
Graduate, Taylor Couch.
Chase might be described by some as shy and quiet, but for those who really know her, they disagree with that in a second, man, because Chase is a weirdo. When she was about 7, Chase once spent the better part of a lunch date with her mom grunting and making awful noises. And when Lindsay asked what was going on, Chase replied, "I'm trying to pop out a testicle." Weirdo. Chase didn't have a problem scaring her parents either. Her mother remembers one time waking up at 3 a.m. with Chase standing above her saying, "I am a vampire." Weirdo. At around 9 years old, Chase was watching a TV show on TLC called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant, and she quickly became horrified and ran to her mom exclaiming, "How do I know if I'm pregnant or not?" And once puberty hit, she was quite proud to name her first 2 armpit hairs Heidi and David. Weirdo. As a teen, Chase and Taylor thought it would be fun to push each other around in a cart at Fred's, until the cart toppled over. Then the girls peed themselves laughing and hightailed it out of there before they got in trouble. And soon after, there were no more carts at Fred's. Coincidence? Weirdos. It took Chase 3 times to get her license, and up until recently, she was the only one of her friends who hadn't hit anything. But then she hit a badger and came home crying for the death of the poor critter. Weirdo. But Chase really is the best big sister someone could have. Although when her little brother Stryker once had something lodged in his throat, she ran a full block down the street, screaming and crying instead of actually helping him. Oh yeah, and she did dislocate his arm once too. But she really is a great big sister. All that aside, if you ask Stryker who he loves the best, it's his sister Chase, despite the tough love she has sometimes shown him. Speaking of tough love, her dad did force his squirrel to play hockey, and while it took some time for her to really start enjoying the sport, once she did, she would stop at nothing to stick up for her teammates because sometimes things needed to be solved one punch at a time. Now that team loyalty has led Chase to pursue the criminal justice program in Lethbridge, Alberta this fall. Congratulations, Chase! You weirdo.
Graduate, Chase Reynolds.
Katharina is a quiet, thoughtful young lady who is easy to be around and to share a laugh with. Now, whether it was in tag, art, or reading group, an extracurricular activity that she absolutely loved, Tina was a positive addition and will be missed. In tag and in art, she often put her artistic skills to use, creating stunning products in the process. In reading group, she loved to recommend books for her peers to read and to suggest fun things like potluck dinners and Christmas gift exchanges that the group could do together. She was a pleasant inclusion in our reading group, as she treated everyone with such grace and kindness. Katharina, you will be missed. For a final PAA project, Tina decided that she wanted to make a denim quilt. Now, she had never quilted before, so she asked Mrs. Steele for help. She was super pumped about creating her masterpiece and really wanted to share her creation with her family, as none of them had ever made a quilt before. So for weeks and weeks, Tina spent her spares and her after-school time painstakingly mastering her quilting skills while putting her design expertise to work. In the end, she created a beautiful quilt that she can be proud of. Mrs. Steele will always remember the look on Tina's face the day she completed her quilt, as it was a look of accomplishment that, simply put, cannot be faked. It was priceless. Katrina has caught the quilting bug and is now so confident in her newfound skill that she is ready to share her new love of quilting with her family and the world. In the future, Tina plans on working so that she can earn some extra money in order to travel the world a bit before settling into a career.
Graduate, Katharina Neufeld.
Ethan has always been a busy, creative, and diverse kind of guy. When he was young, he would lift his cat Percy up and haul him all over the house with him. And as soon as he could walk, Ethan spent his summer days pushing his Tonka dump truck up and down the walking path. Amazingly, no matter how fast he sped with that truck, Ethan never went head over heels. In his youth, Ethan's summers were filled with collecting bugs, frogs, toads, snakes, crayfish, and even more bugs, frogs, toads, snakes, and crayfish. And when the family would camp at the landing, Ethan's mom would always remind the boys to stay on the path because the tall grass had rattlesnakes in it. And boy, one day, Ethan came across a huge bull snake, and was he in his absolute glory. But Erica, not so much. Ethan also spent his days shooting hoops, scootering, biking, and doing skateboard ollies and kickflips. Evenings were spent wrestling on the air mattresses with Kirk and throwing sand at the beach, or they were filled with trampolining. Oh, the hours that were spent on that tramp. Winters saw Ethan spend hours on end sledding with the neighborhood kids or doing karate jump kicks in the snow. And with Branson, he'd spend his time bean-doozling, bail jumping, and bottle flipping. Ethan started very young as a collector of things. First, it was Hot Wheels, tech decks, and Mighty Beans, but it soon morphed into bottle caps, posters, old bottles, and Lego. Known as the class clown in elementary school, Ethan is now more the strong, silent type. He loves classic movies and diverse musical genres. A buyer and seller of all things collectible Lego, Ethan can be found investigating the best deals, shipping and picking up parcels at the post office, and posting his favorites on Instagram for all of his followers. Now that school is done, Ethan plans to enter the workforce and, sometime in the future, to find a career that he is passionate about.
Graduate, Ethan Penner.
Peyton has always been a very soft-hearted, animal-loving kind of person. Once, when she was very little, the family found her in the chicken pen, quietly holding the chickens and petting them. Cluck, cluck. Farm life was often hard for her, with the circle of life that comes along with it, especially the first time she had a steer project for 4-H. The family tried to ease the truth by telling her that Oreo was heading off to spend his life with another farm family, It would have been fine. It would have worked, except for that one night when they were having supper at the Bai's house and Callie informed them that they were having Oreo burgers. Whoops. But really, Peyton has a very soft heart. But she's also a very strong person. And she does have a touch of sass. Peyton is a very athletic individual, as seen by her involvement in all kinds of sports like volleyball, hockey, softball, baseball, badminton, basketball, and track. And while she has had a very, very busy schedule all of these years, she's also been able to maintain her place on the honor roll. She is determined and works hard for the things that she wants. Now, after her first season of playing volleyball, Peyton decided that this was the sport for her. She loved that sport so much that she spent hours on end in the garage getting thousands and thousands of touches against the wall of the house. Thump, thump. The volleyball making that noise was a regular sound in the Stenson household. But her perseverance and commitment paid off, as she excelled at the sport throughout her high school years, and she also earned a provincial title with the Junior Sundogs. She represented Team Southwest at the Summer Games and ended her school career as captain of the senior lines. Peyton was a mixture of skill, grit, determination, and teamwork on a volleyball court, and her constant smile told everyone in attendance that when she was on the court, she was in her happy place. Peyton has been accepted into the Edwards School of Business at the University of Saskatchewan for the fall to work toward a Bachelor of Commerce degree with the intention of one day becoming a chartered accountant.
Graduate Peyton Stenson.
Lisa's smile can light up a room, and behind that smile lays a kind soul that never wavers. She is polite to others, even when they might not always deserve it, and her respectful manner doesn't contain even the slightest sense of smarm. It definitely passes the sniff test. She will do anything for anyone and possesses an unbelievable work ethic, as she truly puts all into everything that she does. Okay, so by now I think you get the kind of kid that Lisa is, but the coolest thing is that none of what I just said is hyperbole, as Lisa is, well, Lisa. She quietly does what she does, and because she is always, well, so Lisa, she doesn't always get the accolades she deserves. So Lisa, you're getting them now. An honor roll student who is a big sister to her brother and little sister, Lisa worked at the family restaurant, participated in school sports like volleyball and badminton, helped coach skating, and, in her spare time, skated competitively during her high school years. Congratulations on all that you have accomplished so far, Lisa, and all the best as you graduate from Gull School and start attending university this fall.
Nobody imagined Grad 2020 to look like this. Even though it looks a little bit different from a traditional graduation, it doesn't mean that we have failed. I'm so proud of everyone and their accomplishments. I'm very thankful to have such amazing friends and classmates to spend the last several years with. I hope all the best to everyone. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
Graduate, Lisa Toe.
Tori Lee Bakken. Parents, Robert and Karina Bakken. Written by her auntie, Crystal Bakken. Tori was always a very energetic child who would always be bouncing around with a smile on her face. She loved being out at Uncle's farm with the cows and horses and always willing to help out where she could. Over the years, Tori's days were filled with hockey and volleyball, which led to many adventurous weekend tournaments with the girls, surely not getting into any trouble on any of them. On the day Tori turned 16, she was so happy that she finally had her driver's license and could have a little more freedom. Short-lived freedom, as her and Mackenzie took a cruise down a very muddy road and got stuck. No one knew where they were, including themselves. Trying to figure out a way to get home or phone for help in an area with almost no cell service, they finally decided to call Uncle Hal to the rescue. He certainly had no idea where they were and told the girls to drop a pin on the map so he could find them. You would think two teenage girls would know how to run their phones enough to do this. An hour or so later, they had been found, mud up to the mirrors and stories that we may not all ever know. To this day, Tori is a little leery about driving the back roads after a rain. Another one of Tori's interests is being out on the boat, either fishing or water skiing. She's gotten pretty good at water skiing after a few face plants into the water. She also loves spending time with her little cousins, and her memories of Cuba with them will last a lifetime. Tori's positive attitude and strong work ethic will take her far in this world. This fall, Tori will be attending Great Plains and Sask Polytech to begin her LPN course.
Dear future grade 12 students, don't take anything for granted. Live your grade 12 year to the fullest. You never know when your last day of school could be. Take risks, have fun, and be adventurous. Make time for your family to play games, sit around and talk, celebrate big accomplishments, or just be around each other. They will always be there to support you. But also, set aside time for yourself. When considering schools in the fall, don't jump at the first opportunity you get. Take some time, think it through, and go with what your heart tells you. Don't worry about where everyone else is going, because this is your time to figure out your future. Your future depends on your choices, not others.
Graduate, Tori Bakken.
In school and in life, Kyan is persistent, quiet, unassuming, and meticulous. He is focused on the things he likes, but will still overachieve on things that he doesn't like doing that much, if it's to attain his goal. Although he was active in sports until entering high school, it was easy to see that his true passion lay in trucks, motorbikes, and, you guessed it, sports cars. In fact, Kyan is passionate about vehicles and would often talk about his dream car, a C7 Z06 Corvette, which I must say is an upgrade from the C6, but once again, it doesn't have the pop-up headlights. Oh well. Back in middle years, Kyan developed a strong work ethic for his studies while also developing a practical workout and diet routine that helped him stay in peak condition. In fact, Miss I thinks that Kyan is one of, if not the, most complete students that she has ever taught. In high school, Kyan continued to take getting high marks very seriously. In math, he would often ask for redo assignments in order to improve his mark if he didn't score 100%. Now, many of his classmates were shocked at this, as they'd say to him, "What, a 96 doesn't cut it, Kyan?" But that was Kyan. He wanted his math to be perfect, not just good enough. In ELA or history, Kyan would advocate for his rights and beliefs, impressively articulate his arguments, and formulate provocative conclusions to prove his points. He enjoyed talking about Stalin or Hitler and was often very reflective. not reactive, when commenting on Canadian and American politics. He is able to see the big picture and to take in arguments from both sides of an issue. Now that school is out, Kyan has moved out to BC, where he is currently employed as a welder's helper. Bummer for the boys though, as they now have lost their poker game host for the summer. Congratulations, Kyan.
Graduate Kyan Swan.
Well, Shayla Ray Paul, our girl, you did it. It is so very strange to think that our first child is graduating and heading into the big world. Your dad and I, along with your family and extended families, could not be more proud. Back when Shayla was younger, her routine was wake up, go to her dad's couch, wrap up in her favorite warm blanket, and lay her head onto her pitto. Shayla would drink her chocolate milk and watch cartoons. When she felt ready to get moving, she would hop into a warm tub, get dressed, not in the dress that I would want her to put on, but in her old ripped jeans and t-shirt, and enjoy what the day had to offer. Shayla's favorite male figures in her life were her dad and her Papa Paul. If any other male figures were around, she would freak out and cry. As Shayla got older, that changed, but that is a good thing. She has created some of the best friendships with her male friends, Tyler McKay being one of the best. When Shayla found out that she was going to be a big sister to Lane, she was over the moon excited. Lane was like her real life baby. When Shayla found out that she was going to be a big sister to Dusty, she went crying, stomping her feet to her bedroom. But of course, when Dusty was born, Shayla was extremely excited to have another real life baby. Lane and Dusty are very lucky to have such an awesome big sister, just as Shayla is lucky to have her brothers who I know deep down think the world of her and will miss her. Shayla is a girl who is known for her beautiful smile, fun-loving attitude, and all-around ranch girl. We do know that she will succeed in whatever path she chooses. There will be some bumps and challenges along the way, which we will be here to help her get through. No matter where you go or what you do, we will always have a pitto for you to lay your head on. Shayla Ray. Always and forever, our daughter.
I say disco, you say party. Disco, disco, party, party.
Something that I've learned through isolation is don't take life for granted, spend time with your friends and family, and do the thing that you're scared to do the most. A big thank you goes out to everyone at Gull School who has helped me achieve not only academically, but as the person that I am today. Big thank you goes out to my close friends and family who have given me advice throughout the years and have been by my side, and to the coaches that I've had throughout the years for many different sports that have made me the team player that I am today. Another big thank you goes out to my mom, my dad, and my two brothers who are constantly by my side through thick and thin, push me to do better, help me strive, and who have made me not go completely insane through this COVID-19. Thank you to everyone.
Graduate Shayla Paul.
When Josh was little, he loved to tell made-up jokes and riddles. But unlike his dad, his jokes weren't always that funny. When Josh would come up with a new joke, he'd nonchalantly walk up to us and ask, "Hey, want to hear a joke?" And before we had any time to react, he'd just start, "Why'd the chicken cross the road?" When, or sometimes as, we were stating the obligatory, "I don't know, Josh, why?" he'd already be giggling as he snorted out the answer, "Because he was dead!" I just don't know where he got that dry sense of humor from. As a toddler, Josh spent many an hour at the rink while his older brother was playing hockey. But instead of running around with the other kids, he'd sit contently with his mum and watch the game. Sometimes people would comment on how well behaved he was, and to tell you the truth, we were often amazed at how he could while away the hours so contently. But now we know that all that time spent at the rink has actually taught Josh two very important life lessons. Life lesson number 1, how to spend hours on end doing the same activity. Josh has mastered that one, as he can now spend hours on end gaming without ever taking a break. And life lesson number 2, how to spend endless amounts of time sitting and doing nothing constructive. For in case you didn't know it, Josh has also mastered the art of putting the pro in procrastinate. But that doesn't mean that Josh isn't a thinker. When Josh was about 3.5, he got into a discussion with his mom about how babies were born. And when Josh asked, "How did they come out?" Anissa scratched her head and offered a safe but vague response. "Oh, the baby lets the mom know when he wants out. You did." To which Josh, after a pregnant pause, replied, "I was knocking at the door." Josh, watching you grow up from the cute little Joshy of the past to the articulate young man that you are today has somehow went by in the blink of an eye. COVID-19 has changed how you exited high school, but it will never be able to change the pragmatic, independent, and polite, well, at least most of the time, young man that you have become. Congratulations on your graduation.
Graduate Josh Boutan.
To Quinn, your father and I are happy to share in the excitement of your graduation in 2020. Even if it is celebrated just a little bit differently this year, this actually kind of suits you in a way. When you were very young, you always did things in your own time and in your own way. And actually, you scared us a bit by not speaking until you were over 3 years old. And looking back on that now, we know you were just waiting for something interesting to say. You grew up doing lots of activities. But when you decided to do something and that you loved it, you would work really hard to do it well, like teaching yourself to ride a unicycle, or to play the guitar, or to swim a 50-meter freestyle in 27 seconds. You're always very resilient and worked really hard. And that's why we're so incredibly proud of you. We are your biggest fans. Congratulations.
Graduate, Quinn Middleholtz.
When Bailey first came to Gull Lake School, he made an immediate impression on his classmates. He was funny, he was kind, he was opinionated, and he was staunchly loyal to all of his friends. A lover of movie quotes, video games, and anime, Naruto had a strong presence in the classroom, on the football field, and in the shop. A member of the Lions football team since grade 9, Bailey was one of the most respectful players that I've ever coached. After missing all of his grade 11 year due to illness, Bailey came to camp last fall with some catching up to do. He worked hard in practice, which resulted in more playing time as the year went on. After each game, he'd come up to me and thank me for playing him that day. And Bailey, maybe you never thought about it, but that gesture really shows the kind of human that you are. Thank you. And in class, Bailey was often a vocal advocate for student rights, as he would often stand up for himself and for his classmates if he felt that the teachers, or his other classmates, were acting in an oppressive way towards his student rights. Sometimes he did this in jest, but oftentimes it was evident that what he truly wanted was to cut the drama and get down to the task at hand. Over the past year or so, Bailey was determined and dedicated to earning his Sask Youth Apprenticeship Passport, as he knew that completing this program on his own terms would bode well for his future. Responsible beyond his years, Bailey brought his full personality into all that he did in school. An outside-the-box thinker, his work was often unique, colored with a touch of satire and, drenched in that offbeat humor and melodramatic movie quotes that he always spouted out. Congratulations on your graduation, Bailey, and good luck in your future.
Graduate, Bailey Lonechild.
I would like to introduce you to our 2020 graduate. Julia Amberly Murray is the daughter of Jason and Tammy Murray and granddaughter of Jean and Morley Murray and Bernie and Jackie Zinger. Our Jules has been a special jam right from the get-go. She was a fast learner when she was younger and still is today. She would come home from elementary school and want to do more schoolwork. She has a determined spirit and likes to conquer unique things that others may not do. Her dad started her young with her competitive spirit, and she has been known to tell her mom, "Why do it if I can't compete?" Some of this could also be due to her stubbornness. Julia loves being active in her school sports, dance, and family ski trips. She strives to do her best in all she does, whether it's in academics or personal accomplishments. She enjoys spending time with her family and friends, and even her brother Connor at times. Some of her hobbies include camping, crafts, crocheting, diamond painting, and bike riding, and she has even been known to run a tractor or two. Jules also enjoys baking and leaving the cleaning up to her mom. She likes to tinker and try to figure out mysteries with puzzles or crime shows. Julia plans to take engineering at the University of Alberta in Edmonton in the fall. She hopes to major in mechanical or biomedical engineering. Continue doing what you do, girl, and please don't stop being you. Good luck, sweetie.
Graduate Julia Murray.
February 26, 2004 is a day we will never forget, for it was the day that we adopted you. Jessica, you filled a huge void in our lives that day. You filled our hearts with joy, adventure, and love. From that day forward, you became our precious, chosen child. In fact, you are priceless to us. Your life has been filled with trials and tribulations beyond your control, which makes it all the more gratifying to see the young, beautiful, and independent First Nations woman that you have become. 2020 has brought you to a new chapter in your life, a chapter that you've worked very hard to achieve, your high school diploma. Know that we are all extremely proud of you. You learned early that life isn't always what we picture it to be, and that you cannot always control the outcomes. Yet, you have grown stronger each day and are now able to hold on to your beliefs and your truths. You have chosen a path which is right for you. Standing by your convictions takes courage, and we love this about you. Jessica, these lessons have created a foundation unlike any other, and because of this, you will be able to choose what is right for yourself, trusting your intuition instead of following the masses. You have a bright future ahead of you, and we love you more than you will ever know. We wish you all the best in your endeavors, and Jessica, know that we will always be there for you. Love, Mom, Dad, Nova, and Vivian.
Graduate Jessica Allen.
Amidst the pain, Michelle, her mom, fails to bear the first child of the family. She is eager to come out in the world even if she was a frank breech. She's ready. Her eyes wanders from left to right, not knowing she could not see anything but bright light. Months had passed, and she started saying mama. Overwhelming, but I felt jealous. At 1 year old, she started walking by herself. It was quite surprising because I was hoping she could run and I would be able to chase her around. She grew up smart, always one of the top 3 students in her class. Kisha was a very active child and has entered numerous competitions against different schools such as math quiz, science, and plays. She did a lot of extracurricular activities before moving to Canada. I know she's scared, shocked, and lonely. She had to start making friends, respond and comprehend the language she's not used to, but she's ready. For her siblings, she is seen as a role model, sassy and weird. She is a bit boring, simple, who loves music and art. As a daughter, she is loving, caring, respectful, picky, sometimes a perfectionist, and annoying. I thought she wanted to become an interior designer, but a pediatrician instead. She wants to help kids in needs, especially in third world countries, and offer free consultations. I am proud of what she wants to become. We are always there to support every step of the way. Congratulations, and we love you always.
say thank you to all the teachers and staff that have helped me throughout the school year. It's crazy how I'm finally graduating. Felt like I moved here not too long ago. I want to say thank you to Mr. Digney for making me appreciate and love art. Art is what I love to do most when I find myself bored during this quarantine, and that's most of the time, like every single day. It's a bit odd though, finding myself missing school, even though I hated waking up early in the morning to get ready for it. Some piece of advice I want to share is to not listen to anyone else's opinions about you, because who cares what they think? They're not you. Always listen to yourself, because that's what matters. Also, have fun in life, live in the moment, and take every opportunity given to you, because you don't know if that will be your last chance of it, so just take it. I want to say thank you again for everything. To be honest, I'm gonna miss my class. Even though we're kind of crazy, we've gotten close over the years, and hopefully I get to see them again, but not too soon.
Graduate, Keisha Doroteo.
Right from an early age, Devin had a love of reading and figuring out how things worked. His favorite show was Mighty Machines. As soon as the theme music would come on, Devin would stop whatever he was doing and be glued to the TV. His mom remembers him also sitting on the kitchen floor before he was even old enough to walk, and he'd be looking at a picture book, turning the pages, when he would blurt out things like trousers, socks. He really was paying attention when she read to him. Devin attended Shaunavon Place School and then Shaunavon Public School from kindergarten to grade 4. And one day his parents got a phone call from the kindergarten teacher saying that she didn't want to alarm us, but that they could not find Devin after recess. Now the entire school was put on lockdown, and all the while, the Derv was hiding in one of the cupboards in the classroom. He spent 1 year playing hockey and soon decided that it wasn't for him. But he enjoyed soccer, baseball, and football, and he was encouraged to support the Saskatchewan Roughriders, of course. And he also took drawing lessons for a couple of years, and those came in handy when he got into high school because Devin once tried to pass off some of those paintings as recent compositions in Mr. Digney's art class. The Winquist family made the move to Gull Lake in 2012 when Devin was in grade 5. Now his first teacher here was Mrs. Kuntz, and he really liked her. And he seemed to fit in right away with all the kids and quickly made new friends. One of his favorite things about Gull Lake, though, was the Lyceum Theater. Comfy seats, drink holders, great movies, and popcorn. What wasn't to love? Throughout high school, Devin was involved in badminton and football. He also enjoys gaming, reading, watching movies, and playing poker with his buddies. Now, Devin gets his height from his father, obviously, but also his metabolism. Because Devin might be tall and thin, but like most teenage boys, he can pack it away. Now, generally, the first thing that's out of his mouth whenever anyone sees him at home is, no matter what, "Hey, what's to eat? I'm hungry." Or, "Hey, can you get me a snack there, Mom?" Devin has found some lifelong friends at Gull Lake School, and although COVID-19 has dampened his spirits a bit, and it wasn't really the ending that he or his classmates wanted, he's looking forward to the next chapter of his life. This fall, Devin is planning on taking economics at the University of Saskatchewan.
Graduate, Devin Winquest.
Braden came quietly into this world on September 10th, 2002, and is still a quiet guy, well, for the most part at least. Like most toddlers, Braden liked to play with his toys, and he'd even be willing to share them with his brothers without a fight, well, at least most of the time. When Braden first started to speak, some of his favorite words like cookies and truck were difficult for him to say, and even though he struggled to say them, he sure did love them. As Braden got older, his love of trucks shifted into a passion for soapbox racing. Each year he'd race in Moose Jaw and Saskatoon in preparation for the Big Dog, the Father's Day race in Swift Current. Braden was a soapbox racer, and when others asked him how he went so fast, he wouldn't give up his secrets. He'd merely shrug his shoulders and mutter a quick, This quiet pragmatism was also evident in his studies. When his parents got an email from the school saying Braden was late on handing in an assignment, he'd often shrug and say things like, well, I'm not the only one who's not done, or I think I got an extension on that one. Or, his personal fave, well, I didn't know it was due. Braden loves sports. Throughout school, he excelled at cross country, track, badminton, basketball, curling, volleyball, and football. He also played hockey in the community as a goalie for years. Unfortunately, COVID-19 made it impossible for Braden to participate in his two most favorite school sports, badminton and track. Now, Braden's been in 4-H for the past 11 years, where he's been active in beef, woodworking, poultry, and curling, where his team won the silver medal at provincials. He looks forward to Frontier Days and is disappointed that it'll be taking place in a virtual format this year, as he will miss seeing all of his friends that he has made over the years at that event. This fall, Braden will be going to Moose Jaw, where he is enrolled in a mechanic automotive services course at Sask Polytech.
Graduate, Braden Myers.
Mitchell Vaughn, born on April 3, 2002, youngest son of Mark and Darla Vaughn. Now where to begin with Mitch? Mitch is a fun, loving, and is rather spirited if you ask his teachers. He has always marched to his own beat, as you can tell from his fashion attire. Throughout school, Mitchell played most sports like badminton or baseball, but his passion was football. On or off the field, he was a force to be reckoned with. That spirit also shows through with how much he cares for his friends and family. Mitchell definitely can create classroom mischief. I'm pretty sure he had his own chair in Adele's office. He also was a bit of a daredevil. How many of you remember him breaking not one, but both of his arms at the same time by falling out of a tree? But he still went water sliding before he would go get a cast put on. Mitchell is going to enter the workforce after graduation. We wish you, as well as the class of 2020, a big congratulations and best of luck in the future.
Graduate, Mitchell Vaughn.
The graduating class of Gull Lake School.
everyone, especially the 2020 graduates. My name is Julia Murray and I was chosen to be Gull School's Valedictorian. Today is a special day. We officially graduate. Although we basically did that back in March, but whatever, today is the day. I'd like to look back on our senior year and see all our memories. Let's start with the volleyball season. We won first place in our league undefeated. Sometimes things were rough, especially at conferences, but we always pushed through. With 8 seniors on our team, it was devastating to realize we weren't going to move on. Or well, it was at least for the other 7 girls. I couldn't wait till basketball and badminton season started up. Then there was football. I watched the most games of this sport that I had no clue about this year. Freezing as I watched some guy pick up a dude about twice his size to tackle him, only to realize that guy was my boyfriend. In general, just playing the game of who's that the whole time. And then there is Lisa and I asking Peyton what the flags mean or why they don't ever throw the ball. Overall, it was great to be there to support the 4 senior boys, but I would never want to be on a bus ride with them after the game, even though they sound like they have quite a few good memories. Now to pop in a middle year's memory. Let's talk about the Shrek incident in grade 8, and how, yes, we call it an incident. How the boys in our class could manage to get a whole movie band is beyond me, but they did, and that didn't stop them. They then got Ravioli Band too. It's now just a fond memory for us grads, but it will never be forgotten. At this moment, I'd like to thank the parents. They're doing everything they can to make sure we have a somewhat normal grad. It might just be that they want us to actually wear and show off the dresses we spent whole days trying to find, because we're a little too picky. Or maybe that's just my parents, but I know Lisa's family feels the same. But you guys have always supported us, and thank you for wanting to show off the graduating class of 2020. I also like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Digney for being the class's mom and dad throughout our whole high school careers, Mr. Boutin for marking way harder than any other teacher to prepare us for university and college. Or maybe it was just to stress us out, but either way, thank you. Mr. Crosby for all the sass, whether it was needed or not, Mrs. Elvis for getting math songs stuck in her head over and over again until Quinn bangs his head on the desk. Mrs. Timashewski for having enough stuff on your wall that Taylor could take some off without you noticing for a whole half a semester. And a special thanks to the EAs for always being there, even though it was sometimes just to talk. And thank you to Gull Lake School. This thank you goes out to the class. Without you, it would have been a very boring senior year. Now let's congratulate all the grads of 2020 on their past, present, and future accomplishments. Lastly, I would like to wish the class good luck on their up-and-coming adventures.
How can I just let you walk away? Just let you leave without a trace. When I stand here taking every breath with you. Ooh, you're the only one who really knew me at all.